What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, and welcome back to yet another post-match fan show. The post-match fan show is your opportunity, it is your chance to have your say on everything Tottenham related. But Sim, how do they have their say?
Well, before every single post-match fan show, the link for the fan show is in the description below, where you'll be taken to the back end, you'll be see everyone waiting, and before we bring you on live on the fan show, live on YouTube, to have your say. But gold members, all gold members get priority for the fan show because we have a lot of callers waiting, so we gave priority to gold members. But how do you become a gold member?
I'm glad you asked me that, Sim, because it is very, very easy to become a gold member. There's actually two tiers of memberships: silver membership and gold membership. Silver membership, you get custom emojis, you get badges next to your name saying how long you've been a member, and you get monthly shout outs. But for the gold membership, you get everything that is in the silver perks, plus you get priority to come on to each and every one of our post-match fan shows. But not only that, you get monthly prizes as well. 3 gold members every month get called out from a hat on our last live watch long of every single month. And the 3 prizes are: the third prize will be a flag and a program. The second prize will be one of these lovely We Are Tottenham TV shirts. We have 8 colours of them. Link in description, by the way, if you want to buy one. And number one prize for the giveaway is a signed Tottenham Hotspur shirt. So our first month we gave away a signed shirt from Toby Alderweireld, and we have got many more signed shirts to give away. So click the link below, join our gold membership, and be in it to win it.
All right, now is the time for you guys to have your say. I want to hear your opinions on all things Spurs and the latest match action. Looking forward to having you guys on and hearing your opinions.
All right, we'll see you on the fan show. Come on, you Spurs. What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for another fan show. We got completely outclassed today, 3-0 against Manchester City at the Etihad. I mean, it's hard. It was hard watching. And let's get my grandpa on, see what positivity he has to bring to us.
Hi, Grandpa.
Hi. Can you hear all right?
I can hear all right.
Good.
Sim.
Well, you've given me a half an hour to try and think of some positives.
Anything?
I've got 4 positives.
4 positives?
Yeah.
Go on.
I believe we're getting closer to the record of hitting the woodwork.
Oh, yeah, we hit the work again today, didn't we?
Yeah. And I thought we had 3 players made a difference. It was great to see Tanganga.
Yeah,
I thought he played well.
I can't hear.
I thought Dyer played well. And I would give the man of the match to Kane, because again, he was there in defence. He missed the goal with a brilliant strike, and he was moving around. But the rest was absolutely Dyer. And Dyer isn't spelt D-I-R-E.
No pun intended.
No pun intended, or perhaps it was intended. But I thought it was sloppy. I mean, I really believe that to pay the best team in the league that had a whole week's rest and us to only have 3 days rest just took the edge off our game. We were making passes, and those passes weren't going to one of our players, or we were getting beaten in the middle of the field. We couldn't get to the goal area. It was very, very sloppy. Excuse that they were tired? I think it's fair to make that excuse. I heard you talking earlier about the players. Remember, there was 3 of the players that we bought. 2 were injured and 1 wasn't on there. Vinicius, Reguilon and Lo Celso. All good players. And we missed them because we had to play the same players twice in 3 days. Or 3 times in 5 days or 6 days or whatever it was. And so we couldn't switch some of the players. And, people like Dombele, who, is a great player, but he didn't play well. And they took it. He was tired. You could see he just wasn't getting there. Son wasn't getting there. The right to take Mora off because Mora also wasn't getting there. In that centre field, we were sloppy, we were soft. And I just hope when we get the others back and get a little bit of a rest, which we're not going to get yet, we can give some of them a rest. We can't have all the players playing twice a week. It's too much. We need 2 teams pretty much. And I think that's very difficult. And considering that, in a way, I thought they didn't do that badly, but it was. And the mistakes. Obier, who's one of our best players, made mistakes again last and the match, and Loris made mistakes. And I can't say that Loris was tired. They didn't have that many shots really. So yeah, it was a very disappointing, very hard to watch.
Yeah. How much blame do you put on Mourinho, or do you feel like he was? Do you feel sorry for him for the circumstances of the game?
I don't put that much blame on Mourinho. I mean, Mourinho. Think about it. It was only 3 months ago we were sitting top of the league, and we were saying, "Oh, we're going to win 3 things," and we were everybody was playing well. And we were saying, we got the best team. We've got the best team. These are still the same players that we had then, generally. But we had too many games to play, I think. I think that is the problem, that we can't, when you've got too many players, the ones that are playing every match get tired, but also you can't switch them out. So people like Vinicius doesn't get the same. People like, even like Bale, I mean, he really hasn't had enough time to get his fitness back. In a way, is the biggest disappointment in terms of. But really, he was a new player that we spending quite a lot of money on, but he hasn't turned out well yet.
Do you think he looked good when he came on today?
He did look better. He's looking a little bit better every time, but in the end, he's still. When he came on, he missed past a few. He did one little run where he went through 3 or 4 players, which was good, but his energy is not there. He doesn't go for things, and that's the issue. When we do well, we're going for every single ball all the time. We weren't today, and when we did get the ball, we lost it straight away.
Yeah. So do you think it's the reason for the loss is coupled with first of all the quality of the opposition and the fact that we played 120 minutes in the midweek and they had a free week, when really if you're going to get a result against a team like Man City, you just have to be 100%, don't you? And if you're not 100%, it's never likely to happen.
Yeah, 100%. And one of the things is those three players that weren't playing should have been playing if they were fit, and that would have given them a bit more life. Yes,
I agree.
And I think that's the issue. Look, it's not gonna change anybody now, so we've got to do the best with the team we've got. But I think it's going to be a real challenge, real challenge to come up in the top four, which is what we want.
I know, but in terms of the way we played, in terms of the way we started the game, and in terms of the way Mourinho set up the team, he had Ndombele next to Højbjerg a bit deeper. He had a lot of attacking players on the pitch. He had Lamela, Lucas, Kane, Son. I don't think he started the game anyway with the intention of just sitting back and just hoping that we don't concede. I think at the start of the game, and he did take some risk, but as soon as we went 1-0 down, you saw the confidence sap away from us, didn't you?
Yeah. You saw the confidence there, but it was against hardness. I don't think it was. I think they were trying. I wouldn't say that they weren't trying, because they were trying, but they were tired and they were sloppy, and tiredness creates sloppiness. You've got to and playing against the top teams, you've got to be on top of it all the time. But again, like I've said before, there's some amazing results. Look at Liverpool.
Yeah.
3-1?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Another good team not making it, which is really interesting. And I think one of the things that stops them being sloppy is when they've got that crowd behind them, really jeering them on, and they're not getting that at the moment. But that's the same for all teams. But on the other hand, you got a lot of the teams not showing up at every match.
Yeah.
But City are, and City have got enough good players to have two teams.
All right,
yeah. Grandpa. Thanks a lot for coming on once again.
Let's just keep our fingers crossed that we can make a little bit of a mark on the rest of the season.
Europa League looks like our best bet, doesn't it, at the moment?
Yeah. When's our next match for the Europa League?
Thursday.
On Thursday. Yeah.
Oh, Everton again.
No, on Thursday we've got Wolfsberger in the Europa League.
Oh, right. What are they like?
Who knows?
Well, I think they're 5th or 6th in the Austrian league.
Right.
So, I mean, we should be beating them with our second team, to be honest.
We can only play our second team. Okay, guys.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Grandpa.
Bye.
Nice one. I'm just looking at this angle right now of the penalty, and I think it's not a penalty, actually. I've changed my mind. Look at this angle here. Just look at Gundogan's foot. He actually fouls Højbjerg. If you look at that angle here. If this angle is pretty conclusive that he fouls Højbjerg. If you look at just look at Gundogan's foot here. He turns, and then look at Gundogan there. He fouls Højbjerg. He steps on Højbjerg's ankle, and then Højbjerg gets to him. It's actually not a penalty.
I don't know anymore, man.
It's actually not a penalty.
Oh, I just don't know anymore, man.
It wasn't a penalty, actually. I've actually got that wrong. I've seen this angle here now, and that's not a penalty. But look, it doesn't excuse the way we reacted to going 1-0 down, but we shouldn't have been 1-0 down by the looks of things. Let's get Sunil on.
Sunil.
Hi,
Sunil. How you doing, mate? Sunil?
You okay?
Hi, you alright?
Hi.
Tell me your thoughts on the game, mate.
Hear me alright?
I can hear you, yeah? You alright?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, guys, first of all, before I get into any negativity, I want to say thank you for everything you guys do. Engagement with fellow supporters is very hard these days, but you guys do an absolutely top-notch job, along with all the other guys that are on YouTube and all the other social media channels. So, thumbs up to you guys. Great job you're doing.
Sunil, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
No, I mean, and your grandfather's absolutely right. We looked really tired out there. We looked tired. We looked jaded. We looked devoid of any energy at all. And, at the beginning of the season, we were all so happy and thinking, well, we've got a squad now. We've got a squad of players who we can rotate and bring in when people are feeling tired, when people do get injured. But, what's happening with the use of the squad? Smoke and mirrors? Are the squad just not good enough? I don't know. I can't answer that one.
Yeah, I mean, when we got Man City away, you need to be 100%. You need your best 11 on the pitch. Otherwise, it really doesn't give you an opportunity. And it's, you know, you can't be resting players against Man City, surely, can you?
No.
So, but then if you can't be resting players, but then they're tired, what do you do?
No. Well, exactly. What do you do? I mean, we were in a catch-22 situation. You know, it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. You know, and you know, I was lucky enough to go to a fan forum before the new stadium opened, and it was really clear at that point. And Pochettino, Lloris, Daniel Levy, they all had this clear identity of who we are, how we play, how we're going to move forward as a club. But now I don't see that at all. I don't see any, you know, this is what we are going to do. It's like, well, if we win a cup, everyone's going to be happy. Doesn't matter about anything else. And I don't think it is that anymore. I think we're all growing more and more frustrated at that. And it's, you know,
are you frustrated? Are you frustrated with Jose?
To talk about it.
Do you think Jose's to blame for the current predicament we're in?
I think everyone has an element of blame. I think the blame with Jose, I would say, is his engagement with the players, and it seems, not on the inside, but it seems that some players are alienated, some players are frustrated. You know, people are being asked to play in a position or in a way that they've never had to before, and you know, that's where I would lay the blame with Jose. With the club, I would lay the blame with, obviously, things that everyone's spoken about, you know, lack of investment, and, you know, even recently, their engagement with the fans has literally just fallen off the edge of a cliff. They used to do fan walls, and there used to be regular kind of engagement opportunities, but that's all stopped. You know, there's some blame with the players as well. You know, and I think everyone's has got an element of blame to answer for. So, yeah.
In terms of the game today, obviously we did get well beaten by a very, very good Man City side. But
yeah, what
do you think was the main reason for the defeat? First of all, I want to go to that penalty. Was that a penalty for you?
No. At first, no. Then when you see that Højbjerg kind of drags his back foot, and that's what clips Gundogan. But then seeing what I've seen on social media of, you know, the incident where it's actually Gundogan who initially makes that foul, you know, VAR should be picking that up. So, yeah, it shouldn't have been a penalty. You know, they were far too quick. You've seen them take 3-4 minutes in deciding a penalty, but not this time. It's like very quickly, you know, and they didn't really show any replays on the television either.
Sunil, let me ask you this. Obviously, we've had 3 wins from our last 11 games, I think it is now. How do we get out of this rut that we're in?
I would probably say that I think we need to rotate the squad a bit. I know we're playing Wolfsberger on Thursday in Budapest. I think some of our key players need a bit of a break, so you kind of maybe start with Vinicius and give Kane a bit of a break, and the same with Son, and the same with Ndombele, because you know they're playing a lot of minutes, and you know it's a 2-legged game against Wolfsberger. So I think rest is the first and the most important thing. How do you bring a bit of belief into a team? You know, that's why Jose's paid £12 million a year, isn't he, to be able to do that? You know, I paid my 5 figures for my season ticket, and you know. I don't have the answer to that. I don't think they'd listen to my answer anyway.
Yeah, it's difficult.
All right, Sunil, thanks for coming on, mate.
Nice one, Sunil.
Thanks a lot, guys, and you know, keep up the stellar work. Yeah,
thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that.
All right, thanks, Sunil. That was a nice call from Sunil.
Josh King with a super chat.
Good old
He
Josh
says,
King.
only Juan de Ramos has a worse points per game in the league than Mourinho for Spurs. Jose has lost more games than AVB in less games played. Levy made a mistake.
But I'm sorry, all these people well, first of all, not all these people, but Josh King digging out Jose for this form that we're in. Pretty much, we were in the same form under Poch in the last year.
Yeah.
So it's obviously not the manager, it's the players and lack of investment above.
I agree. We at the time said we didn't agree with the Poch sacking. We didn't. We said it wasn't his fault because I didn't believe it was his fault.
It's so easy to go and blame the manager.
Yeah,
it's so easy. Yeah, the manager always suffers and kind of holds the buck last and foremost. But you got to dig deeper and look at the real crux of the problem, that we've been declining ever since that transfer window where we didn't spend. We've been declining, a slow decline. And then that last year of Poch started to be a fast decline. And that is all to do with investment within the squad. That is ultimately what it's about. The players that we've got on the pitch there are not good enough. And especially when they're asked to play 120 minutes in midweek and then play tonight against the best team in Europe.
That's the thing. They need to be 100% for this game. And I always knew that if we were to go down in this game, it would just sap all our energy away. I knew it because in this kind of game, you need to be running on adrenaline. You need to have the confidence, especially when you're going to be running on empty, to hang on to something. If you don't, if you're chasing the game, it was always going to be over. And that's
I refuse to let anyone blame Jose for the current crisis that we're in. I refuse.
Yeah.
Because you look at the Everton game, he set us up in the right way. Hugo Lloris and Højbjerg with the individual errors. Today, we look good out of the blocks. Hugo Lloris and Højbjerg again.
But no one can accuse us
of Sanchez.
But no one can accuse us of going into today's game. Well, they shouldn't anyway, the way we set up. No one can accuse us of going into today's game of sitting back and just hoping not to concede. Because that's clearly, by the way we set up, wasn't the game plan. And Ndombele in the pivot, playing all those attacking players, it wasn't the game plan to just, he could have put Sissoko in there in the centre mid. I know he did that at half time, but in the first half, that wasn't clearly the plan.
Well, you know what? If you have better players, if we invested better than we have done in the past, Lucas wouldn't be there, Lamela wouldn't be there, and we would have better decisive players that were on the break that could actually pass a ball. That's what would happen. You know what I mean?
To support Kane and Son.
Exactly. Let's get on.
And also a new member, Joel H.
Joel H. Mr. Joel H. Come on, son. Come on.
Maybe. Hopefully.
He should come on. Let's get on Brandon.
If he's there.
Brandon, how you doing, mate?
Hey.
Hey, Brandon. Yeah, we can hear you, mate.
How are you? Big fan of the show. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Brandon.
No, thank you for coming on. Tell me, what were your thoughts on the game today?
Look, Manchester City is a better team than us. They just are, and I think this game came at a bad time for us because we're in a time when we need good results, but they're better than us. Anybody out here trying to call for Jose's head is out of their minds. In general, I just think we have to take a step back and realize, look, Jose is proven, right? And so that means that if any players aren't playing for him, then those players need to go. It's not their attitude we need to adhere to. It's Jose's attitude. And if it's hard and if he's hard on players sometimes, well, the Premier League is hard, man. You have to step up to that standard. So I think the perspective, like with Dele, he came in, put his arms around Dele. Dele didn't perform. So then who was Dele going to come in over? Ndombele, Lo Celso, couldn't happen. I hope Dele comes back. I also think that, look, our defense just isn't good enough. I would hope that I want us at some point see Alderweireld and Tanganga as center backs, though I know I'm never going to. I thought Tanganga had a good match, but okay, so he comes on as a good right back. That means we lose Ariel. That's already a position that's kind of strength. Davies has gotten spun time after time after time over the last couple of games, and Sanchez is a tragedy. Like when I saw Dyer and Sanchez on the team sheet, I was like, "This is the most tragic pairing we have." Like I'm frightened. But we have to invest in defense. I think you really have to give an evolution of time. Maybe we'll get a little worse until we can get better. But I think you have to give Jose time to build a side, build his side. We bought Bale instead of a center back, and that was a real problem. That's why Levy won't fire Jose, because he knows that he brought Bale in because he wanted Bale, and everybody wanted Bale for the energy. But it hasn't paid out, and Jose wanted a center back. That's why he's not going to fire Jose.
Are you saying? But ultimately, what usually happens at football clubs is that the manager does face the blame for everything that goes wrong at the club. Do you not think that that's going to happen here at Tottenham, or do you think that Levy actually will give him more time and the time that he deserves?
I think Levy will give him more time because of how much respect Levy has for him, how long Levy wanted to get him, and because of this specific decision. I do think there's truth to the rumor that while Jose was fine with Bale coming back, he wanted the money spent on the center back, and instead he got Bale. And so we're seeing that none of our defense are strong enough. Like, I see why. It's a testament to the quality of Jose that our defense is like number 2 in the league, considering the quality of our defenders. He trained the team to work to support one another, but that means that also we run a lot so that when we get matches back to back, we're tired. That's why most people were tired today. We actually didn't play horribly. We just got beat, and Højbjerg was tired, and Dombey was tired. Kane looked like he was tired. Like it was just kind of that situation. But I think there's plenty of time to still get top 4, and I think part of it though is that we as a fan base have to not be so toxic in our atmosphere. We have to not call for managers to be fired. We just need to understand we have who we have right now. We have time to get to top 4, and let's just fight for it, man.
Are you still confident we can make it there? Although, a defeat today puts us 4 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand.
Yeah, it's only 4 points off. We have plenty of matches, and we've played most of our most difficult teams. Obviously, we can lose to anybody. But, there are plenty of matches to go, and we can definitely still make top 4. We're only 4 points off.
I like the confidence. I like the confidence.
And what about Europa League and Carabao Cup? What are your hopes for them?
I'll tell you this. I think that if we won today, the chances of us winning that final diminished significantly, because how are we going to beat them 4 or 5 times in a row? It didn't make any sense. So I think this increases our chances of beating them in that final. I like our chances in a final, even though our mentality can ebb and flow. I think we'll get up for the final, and I like us in the Europa League as well. Let's just fight, y'all. We got to put faith behind the team and the manager. We will get new players and investment. We will need that, but I think the toxic atmosphere will only hurt us.
All right, Brandon, I'm loving the positivity. Thanks for coming on today, mate.
Appreciate it.
Peace out, man.
Come on again, Brandon. Want to see
you definitely come on again, Brandon. Absolutely brilliant.
That was good.
Positivity. That's what we like to hear in these times. But let's keep going.
Apparently, Jose. Oh, go on. We'll go. Darpan first.
Darpan is Darpan Malkan. How you doing, my friend?
Hey, man. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing?
So I'll just give you a quick introduction and why I paid to get on this channel, because I'm a huge Jose fan, and I don't support any club. I support Jose, so I go to the club he goes, right? So
okay.
We're
glad to have you.
Yeah. I was, and I had to come after seeing Simon, fighting everyone with all this Jose comments and stuff. So I said I had to come today, and so I paid. I took my dad's credit card and I said, okay, let's pay for these guys and let's get on this. Let's get on the show, right? So
I hope your dad's not watching.
Yeah, he slept. I'm in India, man. This is 2 o'clock, right? So, but anyway, so I'm going to need 2-3 minutes, right, to sort of give you some of what I think right now. And but just giving you some context, I was a Man United fan for like 5, 6, 7 years, completely backed Jose, and then we get shitty players like Martial, and people, People made Martial a god. People made Pogba a god. People made Jesse Lingard a god. People made everyone a god, right? And what has happened with those players, right? This guy has left, and none of them are still performing. So please understand that the players can sometimes really suck, right? As in, it is not always the manager. Here, again, he comes here, right? I'm going a little bit unstructured. I've actually an Excel sheet where I've written a lot of things because I'm finally an engineer. So I'll come to that, and I'll come to some structure to my conversation. But what I'm saying is that I like Simon's point, right? At some point of time where you said that the treatment is very, very unfair and inconsistent. Even if it was consistent, I would have liked it, right? But it is very, very inconsistent. Klopp loses. Liverpool loses 3-1. Look at what is trending on Twitter. What is trending on Twitter is Alisson. What is trending on Twitter is Thiago. What is trending on Twitter is Salah. But Spurs loses. What is trending on Twitter? No one. Only Mourinho. Why should Mourinho trend on Twitter, man? This is not Mourinho trending. This is like some shitty defenders, and this is some shitty refereeing. The referee should trend on Twitter, right? Not Mourinho. So come on, man. As in, give me some shit. As in, 95% of humans, what I've understood, are stupid. Right? 95% humans are stupid, and they look for easy answers to problems. I work at an organization where I work with 95% stupid people. Right? They look for easy answers to problems. Right? What is the easiest thing to do when a team is losing? Yeah, man, fucking sack the manager. Yeah, let's do it. Let's bring someone new. Right? And let's do some Tuchel ball. Let's do some other ball. Right? Let's do some Sari ball. And yeah, and then you play for like 2-3 months with all of these different kind of balls, and then you lose your balls eventually. Right? So fuck off.
Standing
Right.
You are top quality. I'm telling you, you are top quality.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, I this was a rant because this was with me for a very long time, guys. Sorry.
Keep going.
I'm going to go so now I'm going to go with some structure, right? I have some points written for you guys, which I'm going to talk about, and it's going to take me another minute, right? So yeah. So the first thing, context, right? The context of this game is very, very important. 120 minutes, 3 days back. Mm-hmm. It is not good, right? You can say, hey, don't make all this stupid excuses, and the team should be ready. 120 minutes, that team gave everything on that day. And if I have to lose my team, if I have to see my team lose, I would want it to be a 5-4, the way we lost that day. Give everything in the match and then lose, it's okay, man. As in, it's okay. You made mistakes, own up, learn from them, and it's okay. But don't lose like we lost against Leicester, right? Not even showing up sometimes. That is bad. But losing 5-4 it's okay, right? So that is first. Context is very important. 120 minutes was very, very bad for us, and it showed. Second, why have we become so much outcome oriented, and why have we lost our patience? Have you ever and let's forget football for a minute. Have you ever achieved anything in life where you have seen a linear improvement? Linear, right? It keeps on growing. Have you ever done anything in life which is linear improvement? There is no linear improvement in this world. And this is such a difficult, and I cannot even basically go to the gym 30 days. I don't lose 200 grams every day. I lose 200 grams for 10 days, and then I get a kg. Right, but I still eventually lose some weight in 6 months if I'm consistently on it. So don't be outcome oriented. Every result need not be analyzed with all of these nitty gritties. Oh, is it a manager problem? Is it this player? Is it that player? Has this guy fallen out with the manager? Has this happened? No, man, nothing fucking has happened. Just calm the fucking down. Right? It's a game.
I love this guy.
Nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. Okay, so that's the point number 2. We have become too much outcome oriented. Let this project be given time. Like every good project needs time. Every good project needs time, guys. Give this project some time. Like you gave Poch. Okay, I'm going to go as soon as this guy goes out. So I'm not a Spurs fan, and I'm not going to act like one, right? But I am interested in this project till this guy is at the top of it. And the only reason I might still support Spurs after this guy goes is because of Ariel. Because I love that guy, and that guy has, and that guy, and I could do something like Mourinho with that guy, and I sort of support him wherever he goes, right? Because you eventually see the human and you realize that this guy is worth it, and you see some humans and you realize that these guys are not worth it. And for me, Jose has always been worth it. So now that was the point number 2. Now point number 3, right? I've already gone through some inconsistencies. For example, and let's actually analyze the manager a little bit more in detail, right? Today. For example, let's look at all the top managers, and in this season, every top manager has faced problems. Pep Guardiola, City was not functioning, right? City was out of their sorts, and you could have said, hey, Pep out, bring in some Sari ball, right? Do something with this, and bring in Pochettino, or do something, right? But no. But a good manager, what is the sign of a good manager? He understood the problem, he did something about it, and City are top, right? And you guys had done some perspective, like around 2 months back, where you said City have lost it. Right, and you guys should go again and see that video, right? Because City are now at top, and we are completely fucked, right? So a good manager understood a problem, was given time, and he solved it. But the good thing was that he had players. The manager who won the season last year is in a big problem, right? He has a huge problem. Liverpool are not showing up to games. Right, I actually did. So what I'm doing these days, right, whenever Klopp loses, I trend Klopp out on Twitter to see if anyone else also supports it. I randomly put tweets, rift between Salah and Klopp. No one does that. It only happens with Mourinho. No one else does it. But again, Klopp had a problem and he's solving it. Every manager, every good manager has a problem and he has been trying to solve it. Look at Mourinho and the problems he faced in this season, right? We had a huge problem after maybe the first start. We had stopped attacking. Right, we had stopped attacking. Our football had sort of lost it, and it was not that penetrative, and it was very, very one-dimensional with Kane and Son and etc. Eventually, we didn't realize what he was doing, but what he was doing is he was building up Ndombele so that he could move to a double pivot, so that this extra attacker could come in. He could not have done it at the start of the season because Ndombele was not ready for it. So this is what structural improvement is. But now what he has done is he has structurally solved a problem for you guys. Right? Now that is a solved problem. Your midfield is sorted. You now with that double pivot, you put in a Lo Celso, you put in anyone there, you put in a Lamela, and you have four attackers plus Ndombele as the fifth attacker. That's a structural solve to a problem. Right? The structural solve to a problem is not Dele Alli. Right, just put in Dele Alli and something will happen. Nothing will happen, man. Nothing's going to happen with Dele Alli, right? So yeah, the manager was given a problem, and I see signs of he actually solving it structurally, right? And then let's look at some other problems and some other good things that are happening with your club, right? Kane and Son, I've not been following Spurs, so I don't know if this is the best season for Kane and Son, but I really feel that is a connection which is sort of worthy for any club right now. I don't see that connection in any club, and I don't know if I get some disturbance from somewhere, but okay. But yeah, what I was saying is that Kane and Son is definitely something that is very, very good. Second, right, midfield. That midfield, guys, is legit now. I was so happy to see the first 30 minutes with Liverpool. We were outrunning Liverpool in that match. Okay, we lost and whatever happened with that match, but I have never seen Spurs so confident. I have never seen our midfield actually outrun midfield, and this is Jurgen Press midfield. This is not some stupid midfield. This is the midfield. You do not get time in this midfield, and Højbjerg and Ndombele ran the show for that day for 40 minutes before we lost some confidence, and that's the thing to figure out. But these are trends, these are signs, these are structural improvements, and these are going to pay off eventually. You have to give this time, right? So yeah, that is the second structural thing that is happening. Lo Celso. We have discovered someone. This is again a structural thing. Lo Celso is never going anywhere, right? That is, once that guy is fit, that guy is going to give you a lot of things in the next 3-4 years. That's a structural solve that you have got into a problem, and that is going to reap you a lot of benefits eventually. That is number 3, right? Number 4, Ndombele has turned a corner. We already touched it. We have got a future captain sorted for the next 10 years in Højbjerg. Right? It's like Fantasy Premier League, right? Just captain Son and run away. Yeah, just captain Højbjerg and just run away. There's no changing it for next 5-10 years. And that's it, right? So that's a structural solve again. You have brought in a leader in the squad. Reguilon, right? Even if Reguilon does not stay, what has happened is it has clearly shown everyone that Davis is a sucker and he needs to go. Right, that's a structural problem we have solved. How to convince Levy that Davis is not good enough? Just bring in another left back, and it will show, and it is shown. As soon as Reguilon has gone out, Davis has completely been exposed, and I am so happy that he has been exposed. Right, because now no one can say that the left back is good enough. He is not good enough, and we have seen what is good enough. Right, we have seen what is good enough, and now we know that Davis is not the benchmark. That's a structural solve again. Right, and that's yeah, guys. And finally, one more good thing that has happened is that I have been following Mourinho for 6-7 years. This is a much calmer guy. Look at his interviews. Look at how he's handling these things. This is a guy who's actually sort of really calmed down and is actually working at the back, behind the scenes, and trying to do a lot of things. I'm genuinely telling you, not because I'm a fan, but this is actually a change in behavior. That guy has actually introspected in the last 7-8 months when he was out after United, right? And he's realized that some things were actually wrong at his side as well. And one of those things was that his interactions, the way he was coming out, etc., was not that good. I really see a calmer side of him these days. Right? He is not going after Pep. He is not going randomly after managers. He's not creating problems which are not needed. He is completely focused on the club. right? He's trying to work on it, and it's not anymore. And he's always been trying to say it, right? He has mentioned it so many times that Ndombele's improvement is up to Ndombele 99% and only 1% up to him. He has been trying. He always downplays, Pep versus Mourinho. He's trying to downplay all of this. He's trying to make the team much bigger than what he is. And this is not the traditional Mourinho. He loves it sometimes to be the guy, right? But he's not doing it. He's a much calmer guy, and that is again something very, very good for this club, right? So yeah, those are some structural things that I wanted to talk about. And finally, guys, fine margins, right? The game against Liverpool, Son was offside by what, millimeters? You have that goal in the first 10 minutes against Liverpool at home, and that's a different match, right? Today Kane hit the post again, fine margins, right? These two games we get the first goal, and the result is very, very different. So sometimes you always are much more worried about the result and all of that shit, but also see that it was this team right now needs a little bit confidence, and having that first goal in both these matches could have been really, really important. But we didn't get it. We were unlucky, right? And we were unlucky by margins which are very, very small. So yeah, that's it, guys. That's it. But
all right.
I
know you can go for a long time. We appreciate Darpan. We do appreciate your comments. But no, it's
sorry, guys. But
I just want to say, Darpan. I just want to say thank you so much for calling in, because all your points were really, really good, but we've got a long list of people waiting to come on. So I just want to say thank you so much for calling in, and do call in again, please do.
Yeah, man, I had to get my investment, right, ROI, because I tested it.
Don't worry, come on the next game. Come on the next game.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Darpan.
Thank you so much for coming on. Absolutely brilliant call.
Mac THFC says the reason our current plight are debatable. Either way, there's no way Kane settled for this dross. Good chance he's on his bike in the summer. And we have another one from Brandon Victor Dix. Oh, Brandon, who's just on, says Darpan with the gospel. Beyond tired of Jose bias. Back him for his full contract at least. Period. Preach Darpan. That's exactly what I agree with that. I think the narrative behind Jose Mourinho all the time is Jose out, Jose out. That's what I see. Maybe it's rival fans or whatnot. Jose's finished, blah, blah, blah. But when other managers have similar issues, it's always this player's a problem, that player's a problem, this guy, you got to get him out when he just invest another much. But whenever it's Jose, it's always his fault. Mm-hmm. That's what I see.
Yeah.
And I think it's a narrative that is, I don't know where it's pushed from, but that's the narrative I see.
It's pushed and whenever from all the Jose haters, because people love to hate Jose. That's what it is.
It's because I tell you why it is. It's because he came into the league as like the special one, right? He the self-proclaimed special one. He was arrogant. He was up himself, and people like to tear down these type of people.
And not only was he arrogant and up himself,
he was proving
but proving it as well. Exactly.
So, and people love to tear those kind of people down.
I'm not saying Jose is completely blameless in this situation, because he's not. But out of the three denominators, Jose Mourinho, the players, and the board, he's the least to blame.
Agreed. Gary Wells says, please don't let that go on again, or I won't be tuning into the post-match fan show. That's a bit harsh. I thought he did really well.
I'd love to get that guy on again. I thought he was brilliant.
Maybe it could have come a bit short, but I thought he did really well.
I thought he was brilliant. All right, we got Ariel waiting.
Hi, Ariel.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah.
You're on mute, I think. Oh, no, you're not.
No, keep going. I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you not hear?
Yeah.
I can now. Yeah, I mean, could be better. At least we're healthy. That's the main thing.
Yeah, man.
How are you?
Yeah. I'm perfect, man. I'm perfect. Well, listen, obviously I can't say that because of what happened after the game. But what else? Listen, I've expected that. I knew City was the better team anyway coming into this game. But one thing I think we've learned from these past two games has been pretty simple. We've tried to play high line against those teams, and it clearly shows us exactly what our weaknesses are. Like, this defense been hiding so much behind the Sissoko and Højbjerg midfield, and then we were led to be thinking that we were actually good defensively. And I've seen the stat, we like the second or third best defense in the league. Are you joking? This is not the second best defense in the league. This is probably like the bottom three in the league, man. I'm not having that. Like, this defense is absolutely rubbish. And there was this thing where what Jose said before the match in his press conference, that he actually tried every single
partnership at the back, and then the one that actually got least tried was Rodon, and he's actually right. You know, we've seen Sanchez Dyer, we've seen Toby Dyer, we've seen Sanchez Toby, and pretty much all of those, man. Like, it's been so piss poor. Like, I'm been so annoyed in every single partnership we've had. Like, it's literally the back, and I'm glad this is happening, and I'll tell you why. Because Levy watching this, he knows he has to invest in 2 centre back. I'm not having 1 defenders. I'm having 2 quality centre back for next season. Like, this is the only way we're going to be sorting this situation. Otherwise, we're going to be keep going talking about the same thing year in, year out. It's not going to change. It's not going to change. And this is clearly shows why we needed Skriniar before the start of the season. It's like unbelievable. Like, watching these defenders. Come on, man. You're backing like that 3rd goal we scored today. Like, you're watching Sanchez one-on-one against Gundogan. You will always back Sanchez to come out better. He's fast. He's strong. He's supposed to be strong. But he got shoved off like a fucking 5-year-old or something like that.
But how do you explain, Ariel, how do you explain how we were defending near the beginning of the season or through that period after West Ham, how we were defending so well and not making mistakes and beating City 2-0 and, you know, getting a 0-0 draw at Chelsea and beating Arsenal 2-0 and getting clean sheets every week until the mistakes started to settle in? How do you explain that? Is that down to Jose?
100%, no doubt. Do you know what was happening? Us fans, we've been complaining, including myself. I have to put my hands up. We've been complaining about, we want to be in the front foot. We want to play attacking football, this, that, the other. We were led to believe that we had quality player when we only have average players. So what Jose watched, he probably saw this player in training, and then he probably decided with his coaching staff, the best thing to do with this squad is to park the bus and play on the counter. And that was the deal. And we weren't happy with it because we probably thought we could do better. But now watching these games, listen, it's Everton. Look at how pathetic we were. One little mistake that Højbjerg just made and then in a space of 7 minutes, we're 3-1 behind. How can you explain these things, man? This is absolutely, this is abysmal. These are defenders. Even I think even bottom of the league defenders are better than our defenders. I'll take Brighton defenders over our defenders. 100% any day.
But yeah, I get your point. But the fact of the matter is, we changed the approach because we weren't getting the results as well. Sitting back, it started against Crystal Palace. We kept sitting deeper and deeper, and then we stopped getting results. So when we're not making chances and we're not getting results, obviously fans are going to complain, aren't they?
100%. But those games you're alluding to, the Wolves, the Crystal Palace, we were getting the chances and we weren't putting it away. If you're looking at the stats in those games, we should have been winning those games. Listen, against Crystal Palace, we should have won that game. Against West Ham, that 3-3 ended 3-3. We should have easily won that game. Against Wolves, we should have won that game because we were getting the chances and we weren't putting it away. And even against Everton, we lost 5-4, but we were getting chances. You know, even we were leading 1-0. We were getting chances. We should have been 2-3-0 up before we even conceded one. So it's not about...
Yeah, but the Everton game is one you point to as one we came out a bit and started playing a higher line. And that's why we were getting chances in that game. In the other games, we kind of took the lead and kind of sat back and tried to defend it for when we took it. And that was the issue.
Yeah, but Sim, can you blame the manager watching these defenders? Can you actually blame the manager for doing that?
No,
exactly.
I can't.
So this is, do you know, at the time I was blaming Mourinho. At the time I was looking at the game and probably thinking, we can do better, we should do better, this, that, the other. But watching it now, watching this defender defending one-on-one now, listen, it's absolutely abysmal. These defenders didn't need to go. Do you know, I don't care who we buy. I think whoever we buy probably would be better. We'll be 100% better than our defenders because I believe, I hear people complaining about Lucas, Lamela. Yeah, they're not top class. They probably average. But I believe if we have 2 quality centre-backs, those players will be better. And those players would be performing and would be probably being better because they will be trusting. Even if we 1 goal up, we'll be trusting our defenders to do the job because that's what's happening. Because right now, if we 1-0 up, we're not trusting our defenders. Absolutely no. We just want to be 2-0 up before we can.
Ariel, we got a super chat here directed at you. I'll put it to you while we're live. It says, I agree with Ariel. Jose has tried every single partnership for the defence, but still not good enough. Højbjerg has been overused to cover that defence. But how do do you agree with that? But how do we solve that Højbjerg being overused problem? How do we do?
Listen, I wanted Højbjerg to be rested even against Everton, but if we rest Højbjerg, who's going to fill in his shoes? Like, who's going to come and replace him and play well? Because it's not just about replacing a player. It's also about a player coming and having an impact. Like, who? Because we watch wings. Do you know, otherwise, if we replace Højbjerg now, we're going to have literally the same team as what we were playing last season. Like, Wings as a center CDM, which is going to be catastrophe, because I think Wings can probably replace Sissoko next to Højbjerg, but he can't replace Højbjerg himself. So it's going to be terrible. I don't think Wings can play CDM. So who in our squad can replace Højbjerg? I want Højbjerg to be rested for... Nick, actually, that's a good shout. But we can't call him right now until the end of the season, can we? It's like, it's pretty much, it's impossible right now. We have just to do with what we've got. I totally agree with you. He's doing bits in the championship. He's a good player. And this season is good for him to learn and to play in a league where they have more games, to play in a tougher league. So then when he comes back next season, he probably can replace Wings and be the one that can swap with Højbjerg. But at the moment, we don't have anybody apart from Højbjerg. I'm sorry, I want Højbjerg to be rested, but there's literally nobody. I'm looking at the squad. Who's going to replace him? With Højbjerg, we're looking a bit terrible right now because he's making the mistake himself as well. But the one that's going to replace him probably is going to make 10 times more mistake than he's doing at the moment. So there's no choice. And you can't just, those are individual mistakes that are killing us. It's not, watching City today, we lost 3-0. But can you actually remember, apart the 3 goals they've scored, do you actually remember us being peppered? We haven't been peppered, man. Like, it's literally a mistake. One mistake, they get a pen, they score. And one long ball, literally, while we were Sanchez, you would expect Sanchez to deal with it. We literally concede, and another one where there's literally like one little pass, which Hugo should have done better, and they scored. And those were literally the 3 chances. Like, we haven't been peppered. City were at their best. I don't think personally City were at their best, and this mistake. The mistake after mistake. This is not.
They didn't get out of first gear today, Ariel. They didn't get out of first gear at Man City.
100%, no. Do you know the way they play against Liverpool last week? It was way better than the way they play against us. Way better. They won 4-1 against Liverpool, which was the champion, 4-1, and they absolutely deserve it. It was top class performance. But today, I'm watching this game, I'm thinking, this wasn't. They weren't even trying. How bad it was. We made it and we lost 3-0, and they're probably going back to the dressing room thinking it was so easy this game, because they didn't even break the sweat. They were literally, it looks like they were parking the bus, but they weren't even parking the bus because they knew when they break in, they can probably get one of our players making another mistake for them to score the goals. And look out, what just makes me even sick is just that last goal we've conceded, the Ederson one. This is what actually pissed me off so much, because I was watching them thinking, what the hell are we doing? Like, this is just catastrophe, man. It so much annoys me, this goal and this game as well. But hopefully, do you know what? The last thing I can say actually is the Man City. Do you know we've played Man City twice already? We won and then we lost. If I have to choose, I'll probably choose to lose today and win the final. I don't know about you guys, but I'll probably choose to lose today and win the final.
Oh, of course.
I think that's 100%.
I think we can all agree on that one, Ariel. Look, Ariel, thank you again for your calling. Always good to speak to you, mate.
Thank you guys.
Cheers, mate.
But let's get.
Before we get on the next guest, I just want to mention that before we had a chap called Brandon Victor Dixon on this show. And it's just brought to my attention that he's actually quite a famous actor from New York. And I actually watch one of the shows that he's in quite regularly. And I thought I recognised him. I was so sure that I recognised him. And Brandon, if you're watching, please do get in contact, because I would like to have a chat with you about doing something more on the show. So have a message us on Twitter or something.
Power. I don't watch Power, but
I watch Power religiously. So.
Yeah, I know you're a very big fan of it. So it's quite funny. Maybe the glasses, you didn't recognise him.
Yeah, I think he wears glasses in the show.
Oh,
does he? Look, let's get Ray City Fan TV on. Ray, I hope you're not coming on here to gloat.
Oh, cold goal, Ray.
Honestly, normally I would. Normally I'd come to rub it in, stuff like that, but I feel a bit sorry for you guys, so I'll you know.
I don't know what's worse. I don't know what's worse.
What your pity or I don't know.
I think I'd rather you have a dig now.
No, mate, we still got to play you once more this season. So
that's the big one.
I don't want to get ahead of myself.
No, but
still got to play in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah, we do.
I don't want to get ahead of myself.
But Ray, how did the game go for you in your mind? Just talk me through the game.
I thought you were all right in the first half. Look, we know how you're going to play against City. We know how Mourinho's going to set up defensively. Doesn't want to give anything away. Not too convinced about your back line. I'm sure you've already talked about that tonight.
To death, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Sanchez was doing. Did he lose his contact lens or something at the end? He was looking for his contact lens on the floor.
I think one of his ice skates fell off, maybe. Bambi on ice.
But the thing is, you did look threatening when you were going forward, but sometimes there's that a bit of a detachment between the guy coming forward with the ball and the rest of the team. And most of the good opportunities you had, the good situations you had, you didn't make anything of it. Right. Do a lot more than what he did with his pace.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I agree, we didn't make the most of it, and I think a lot of our attacking players, like Lemero and Lucas especially, were very, very wasteful when they got into the decent positions to counter. But I felt like, I don't know how you felt, but I felt like for the first 25 minutes, we were well in the game before you got that penalty, and then when you did get the penalty, our confidence did seem to sap away from us, and we pretty much gave up. It felt like after going 1-0 down. I want to ask from you though, your opinion as a Man City fan: was it a penalty? Do you think? Because I've seen an angle now that makes it look like it was actually more of a foul by Gundogan on Højbjerg than it was a foul by Højbjerg.
It was an unfortunate. I think it was a penalty. It was unfortunate. If it had gone against City, if that had happened in our box, I'd have been disappointed. But depends how you want to look at it. Gundogan didn't control the ball. The ball was going off, and that would have been a bigger frustration because the ball was going off anyway, and Højbjerg didn't actually need to make the tackle. Yeah. So, I think it was a penalty simply because he took the guy, kicked him on his ankle, and if you fart on someone in the box these days, you get a penalty. So let's be honest, I think it was a penalty.
Yeah, the only thing I would say, I don't know if you saw, there's a certain angle. I don't know if they showed it on Sky, but I've seen it from an American stream. You can see Gundogan actually steps on Højbjerg's ankle before Højbjerg goes onto the back of Gundogan. So if you haven't seen that angle, maybe that's why you think. That someone tweeted at us, showed me the angle. Maybe I can show it to you. I can't show it now.
Either way, Ray's right that Højbjerg does not need to make a challenge there.
Yes, as I was saying, it's clumsy from Højbjerg, but I actually think it was unfortunate. There was actually.
I think it's unfortunate, but the thing was, he was committed, and there's no way in the world that you're going to expect Ilkay Gundogan not to control that. I think if Gundogan had controlled it, then maybe the Højbjerg tackle would have been all right. But if the ball's not there and you're going into the guy, you're asking for trouble.
But Ray, you would agree tonight, even though you won 3-0, City didn't really get our first gear tonight, did they?
Yeah, to be honest, I've been listening to you guys for a few minutes, and you're right. Some of the City fans were criticising, if you can believe this, criticising the guys up front. Sterling, he had Ben Davies on toast, but he wasn't doing much with the ball once you got past him. Jesus, he's always hit and miss for us. People were saying Bernardo's just running around with the ball like a headless chicken. He's doing a few nice passes here and there. So I look at that game, and it's one of those. If we'd beaten you 5 or 6, without sounding a bit over the top, no one would have probably complained. And I still think City got more gears to go. I saw Aguero warming up on the touchline. I just thought he was doing that to annoy you guys, to frighten you even more. There's no way he was going to play, but he was on the bench. I suggested he was going to be on the bench just so that the Spurs players look across and say, "Oh, we've got Aguero to come on potentially." And it's frightening. I mean, people are asking me, where does KDB fit in this team? Where does Aguero fit in this team? And I say, right now, Aguero doesn't get in this team. Aguero, for me, is a super sub. Come on 10, 15 minutes from the end of a game. KDB, I wouldn't be putting him straight back in. And that's a scary thing if you think where this City team can actually get to when they get everybody back fit.
Yeah, I mean, the City, they really are running away with it now. What are you, 8 points clear at the top now? of Man United?
We're 8 points above United, 10 points. Are we 7 points above Leicester or 10 points? It's just I can't keep up.
Too many points, is it? You can't. I think you're right now. You're for 7 points above Leicester with a game in hand, and your same games played against United, and 8 points clear of them.
Ray,
So-
you said in our previews before the game that, you know, as a City fan, you suffered a lot in the past and you don't really get overconfident and stuff. And maybe if you beat Tottenham, you'll start thinking that you will win the league this season. Are you starting to think like that now?
Slowly. I mean, I think we've got a big month. We've got a big month ahead of us. It's great, obviously, Liverpool losing as well. But it looks like it's United and Leicester who are going to challenge. We've got a big month. Everton Wednesday, big game. Arsenal, okay, that used to be a big game. It ain't anymore. But I shouldn't say that because, you know, I was asking for trouble. And then we got West Ham. I mean, who'd think West Ham are up in the top 6? And then we got United, I think, first game in March. I think if we can get maximum points out of those, then I'd say, yeah, it's ours. I don't think anyone's going to touch us.
Yeah, I want to ask you, Ray, actually, we'll just touch on a point that we had a fan before Darpan who was making this point, and I was making this point to Joe before, that more specifically when Pep Guardiola, right, when it was his first season at Man City, he had is he frozen there? You still there, Ray? Are you still there?
I'm here.
Yeah. When Pep in his first season, when he had all those defenders constantly making mistakes, you had like Clichy, you had Sanya, you had Bravo in goal, constantly making mistakes. You had Otamendi at centre back, who wasn't that good.
Even Stones as well.
And yeah, Stones wasn't even doing that great, but he obviously came good. But a lot of were Man City fans at that time very on the same page that the defenders were the problem and not Pep. Because at the moment, we're having the similar issue here, but a lot of fans I can see blaming Jose when actually it's the defenders making a lot of individual errors.
Yeah.
But I feel like when Pep was going for the same thing, everyone was like, clearly Pep needs new defenders, not Pep's not good enough.
Yeah, look, we had Sanya, who was about 35, I think, when he left us. We had Clichy on the other wing, Kolarov, who can't defend. We had Zabaleta, I think, coming to the end. We ended the season with Jesus Navas as our right back. And he's useless pretty much up and down that wing. He's supposed to be a winger, and Bravo in nets and problems there. So we knew we needed changes. And look, I guess when Walker left you guys, we were happy to pocket the money, 55 million or 50 odd million for Walker. He made a huge difference. Mendy, when he started, a massive difference. And it's going to be a matter of either buying the right personnel, or what I say when people come from abroad is give them a second season. You need to see what they can do in the second season. And Ndombele, I love Ndombele tonight. You know, he was one of your few players that could actually compete with the City players. He was driving through. He was making gaps in midfield. He's got that strength, that physicality, that pace, that vision as well. But he needed more. And I've always thought Lamela is a little bit weak in that area to help out. But you just need. I mean, looking at your defence, I don't think there's anyone. You look at them. Ben Davies, not for me. Doesn't, you know? We saw him against Sterling, and Sterling struggled against good defenders. If you saw the game against Villa, Target had Sterling in his pocket. He was struggling. Wan-Bissaka on the other side when he played at United,
I'd even argue today in the first half when Sterling was up against Tanganga, he got no joy there. He had to switch wings.
Well, what we were doing, we had 3 men on Tanganga. Tanganga was struggling simply because of the setup. He was looking at one guy on the wing, which was usually Foden or Sterling, and then Gundogan was coming on his inside. And people look at Tanganga and say, "Oh, he struggled tonight." Well, you're going to struggle if you've got 2 players on you, and you have to make a decision. There were times.
I thought he was a lot better than Ben Davies.
Oh yeah, I think one of the problems you've got is pace, and Sterling. A lot of the time, why he struggled a bit for us as fans. He's done. You know, looking at his numbers, he's still done all right, but he just knocks the ball past a defender and runs. And against Ben Davies, it was too easy. Ben Davies couldn't beat him for pace. Target can't beat Sterling for pace, but Target dealt with Sterling. I just think Davies was scared. You know, that got into his mind because he knew he couldn't beat Sterling, and Sterling kept beating him over 10 yards. He was past him. So Tanganga, I thought he did all right considering what he was up against. And at times, City had 5 men up front. and they were interchanging. And I think that's the point, so that no one gets used to somebody else. So Sterling might start on the left. No one, Tanganga might start getting used to him, and then he'll swap. Foden will come across, offer something different, and that hopefully will catch somebody out.
All right, Ray. Thanks for coming on, mate.
Nice one, mate.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah, we'll catch up with you around April time.
Yeah. Good luck, guys.
Cheers, mate.
Let's hope you win the league, honestly. No one else. All right.
Well, I mean,
Cheers,
to be honest, I wouldn't care if Man United or Leicester win it now.
No, I don't want United to win it. No.
It's only because you're full of a Man United WhatsApp group.
I don't want you. Exactly. I do not want United to win it. Leicester, whatever.
Just take yourself out of the WhatsApp group. It's easy.
I can't. I'm chained to it.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not.
I am.
You left the job.
Yeah,
right,
let's change to the group. You can leave a job. You can't leave a WhatsApp group.
Yeah, it's just a quick, easy thing. Delete group. Alex, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thanks.
Wow.
It's kind of settled down a bit, reflecting more. I mean, to be honest, throughout the game, it's just apathy. Really. I had it the last game against Everton as well. It's kind of, this is a bit of fun. Lots of goals. Yay. Lost the game. Oh well. I don't know. It's just, and that's bad, isn't it? When apathy starts to set in, watching your own club. I don't know. It's really worrying. And there's there are positives to take out today, I think. And things that.
Oh, go on.
I think there are. I think Ndombele, he definitely wasn't at his best today, but he still, I think, looked a threat. I think Tanganga had good moments. It's a tough job for Tanganga, really, isn't it? It's not his natural position, and also, he's been thrown into a massive game against probably the best team in Europe at the moment. I think that. Okay, now I'm struggling.
A couple of things.
A host of positives today.
But look, I think that it's concerning because, anyone who's saying Mourinho out is just completely wrong. I think there is equal responsibility on all levels throughout the club. The players have just been awful, not good enough, completely not just letting Mourinho down, but letting the fans down actually, and that's really disappointing to hear, or to say even. And I don't know, it just really seems like some of them just really aren't up to the challenge now. That's not saying Mourinho has been perfect. I think he's mismanaged situations, and I think he could have handled some things better. But that's why for me it's shared responsibility.
Yeah, but what can Mourinho do when, however way he seems to set up, it seems to be the case that these individual mistakes keep ruining whatever game plan he has every time. We sit back, we take a lead and then sit back and try and defend it. A defensive mistake costs us and we draw the game. If we go on hell for leather and actually go for it like we did against Everton, we score goals, create chances, but then we concede 5. Today, obviously, we tried to keep it a bit tight, although I felt like the game plan wasn't just to be as defensive as we were when we played them in November, because playing Ndombele in the double pivot showed to me that he had a bit of ambition today to go to try and do something. But again, 0-0, tight game, individual mistake, or the penalty cost us again. We're 1-0 down. What can he do to change that?
I think that at the moment there's not really a lot he can do. And I actually agree with what you said. I think that he has tried a lot. All the different centre back pairings, for example, he's tried setting us up tactically in so many different ways that. Some of them work for a bit, work against weak teams, but really struggle to have an impact. Think about both times played Chelsea this year. I know the first game, we drew 0-0, whatever, right? We didn't really have an effect in the game. What I'm talking about, though, is more mistakes he's made in terms of overall management at his time at the club. For example, showing confidence in Eric Dyer to perform by giving him that new contract. Week in, week out, I feel like that was a massive mistake. Showing confidence in certain other players, I think, it just hasn't. It's those sort of things which I think have led to the situation that he's in at the moment. Not everything, as you say, it's a lot of it is to do with the players. But I do think there is some responsibility. But today, that's management as a whole. Today, I really do think a focus is big on the players, and that they just have not been good enough whatsoever, and are really letting everyone down.
Alex, you say that some of Jose's flaws is showing too much confidence in some of the players we've got there. But I mean, what else can he do? Because we weren't going to ever sign anyone in January. He's only working with what he's got. And if he doesn't show confidence in them, they're not going to have any confidence whatsoever. And they'll be even worse than what they are now, surely.
Well, yeah, absolutely. He didn't receive the players that he wanted. But at the same time, you think, okay, after the summer transfer window, we were all pretty happy with the players that we got, and he said it himself. He was happy with the squad, and yes, well, maybe he has to do that because that's how it works. You can't just say, "Oh, I hate the group of players I got." He's never going to come out and say that explicitly. Mm-hmm. He did say he was happy, and at the time, it turned out that it was just good form we were in for that first part of the season. And it's turned out that actually the team is quite weak overall, especially in defence.
But surely if he comes out and says that he's not happy, then that just causes a bad rift from the beginning, and he's just trying to keep a good feeling within the squad, and bad players can sometimes play well with confidence at the end of the day. Maybe that's what he's trying to do.
I think he is trying to get the best out of this squad as he can, and for a while he was doing it. I think that's indisputable. At the start of the season, he was working absolute wonders in my opinion. I've always tried to be fair with Mourinho, criticise him when I feel like he's done badly, and praise him when he's done well. And the start of the season, there's absolutely nowhere I couldn't praise him. And even right now, I feel like it's a lot of shared responsibility. Rather, I don't think it's as simple as saying, you got to sack the manager. It's all the manager's fault, because it's just simply not. It's also been years and years of bad planning by upper management. With, for example, why did Eric Dyer need to get a new contract? I'm sorry, I'd much rather have a different player in rather than Eric Dyer. I know it was Mourinho who wanted him, but come on. And players like Harry Winks and Ben Davis got a contract at the exact same time a couple of years ago. Maybe that is me looking back with hindsight. Hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? At the time,
2020 vision.
Exactly. I think the squad we've been left with is just really, really lacking in so many different areas, and it does leave me extremely concerned for the future, because it's clear that the squad does need a massive overhaul. But I don't think we're going to get that, and the reasons we're not going to get that, some of them are fair. For example, I know there is not going to be a lot of value in the market in the summer, and I think that is actually a fair point. But I think we did well last summer with what we had, with the money that we had. And something that has crossed my mind is maybe, I don't know, I am just kind of thinking on my feet here, but maybe a big player does need to be sold to actually generate funds, something like Liverpool did with Coutinho, that actually does then kickstart a project that you actually want. I think the point that the guy who had on before me from City TV, made was great. Of when Pep Guardiola arrived, the defense was all over the place. It was terrible. It was a pretty poor season by their standards, and they had to get new faces in. That's what we've got to do here. The defense needs a revamp, especially the centre back roles. I mean, this is the great thing, right? Look at that defense we started with today, and look back, 2-3 seasons, maybe some way near the end, midway through Poch's tenure. That would be the defense we'd start with against someone like Rochdale or no,
second choice defence. You're right. It'll be our second choice defence. Yeah,
exactly. And so, how are we meant to compete at the top of the table with a defence like that? And it makes me just really, really angry, because Ben Davis, he's a good squad player, right? He's a good squad player. I know Reguilon's injured, right? But we need someone else. And I know, and maybe sending Sessegnon out on loan wasn't the best idea in hindsight.
For me, and when it comes to Ben Davies, he's okay when you're rotating him and he's second choice and he can come in for the odd game and do a job. But when he's asked to play week in, week out, and especially while Reguilon's injured and he's getting tired,
get found out way too often.
He's going to get roasted like he was today. For Ben Davies to compete against someone like Raheem Sterling, he needs to be at 100%. He needs to be completely on it at his sharpest.
Yeah.
And when he's just played 120 minutes on the Wednesday and he's just played about 5 or 6 consecutive games with about a 2 or 3 day break, it was always going to happen. He was going to get roasted today. It was always going to. Anyone could predict that.
When you
but
saw
we have
the
no
back
option,
line,
did we?
When you saw the back line today, I don't know, one Spurs fan that was like, "Yep, that looks like a good defence."
Yeah.
On Man City.
All right, we're ready to go. Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer,
Right.
Ben Davies. Come on.
Oh my goodness. I was not expecting anything today because we all knew that was going to be some sort of variation of the defence. Maybe Tangang was a bit surprised, and that just shows how desperate he is, right? Because was Doherty injured today?
No, he was on the bench. He was on the bench.
Well, there you go. That says all. It's confidence.
Alex, let me ask you this. A lot of Spurs fans, a lot of fans around Twitter in general were laughing at Arsenal for getting rid of Mesut Ozil, getting rid of loads of deadwood in their squad and kind of losing out on a lot of money in the process. Obviously getting rid of the wages off the books, but losing in a lot of kind of transfer revenue. Is it something that we need to do now, is just get rid of loads of this deadwood and just kind of lose a lot of money out in doing that?
Oh, the thing is, but what club are we? It's weird because I have an interest in business. I follow all sorts of businessy stuff, and that part of my head's kind of saying, you just don't do that. You have to sell when the time is right. For example, Harry.
Surely
Winks,
that time's gone now though.
With certain players, perhaps, especially if you see a decline in a play, you never like Davinson Sanchez, who pay 42 million for him at the moment.
I wouldn't even get 10p.
Exactly. So it's those sorts of things where you have to wait for an offer. But I think historically, this club has been bad at doing business with exporting players out the door. Vincent Janssen, how long did it take for him to leave the club? And he wasn't great in the Spurs. It took him ages. Victor Wanyama, another one, took ages to leave the club. We got pennies for him. Even Moussa Dembele, you can make an argument for. We got nothing for him, and what a player he really was. So,
what do you mean? The whole of our fan base said we would have won the Champions League if he was still with us.
I'm not sure that's necessarily true, but I think the point is, and maybe this does bring me back to the point I made earlier of, I do think a player being sold with value does actually need to be taken a look at. If we do need to, that is a controversial thing to say, but
when
that's what they used to hammer Levy for. We're a selling club. Oh, you sold Berbatov, you sold Carrick, you sold this one.
But we're not talking about selling the upper
kept the
echelons
players
on our team. Yeah, it's true. But I'm talking about the players like Ben Davies, Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez, Matt Doherty. I'll even throw Serge Aurier in there.
Yeah,
Eric
but
Lamela,
you're saying
Lucas Moura, all these players. Are we ever going to get a decent amount for any of those players?
No, and that's the problem. And I do have, I suppose, some of it has been bad management from the top, but I do have sympathy in that. Look across the Premier League, it is very tough at the moment to ship players out that you don't want anymore, because people would rather buy players with potential than flops. And sometimes you can get a loan out and maybe they can do well, and then who knows? And that's what maybe could have happened with Dele Alli. And the Dele Alli situation, sorry, just go on tangent, just makes me laugh, because the fact that we now have to, Mourinho might be pinning his hopes on him a bit when he sidelined him is just quite laughable. I mean, that is also a situation he mismanaged. But yeah, just tangent there. But I think that it is so difficult now to just sell on these players that have flopped essentially at any club, that you do need to take risks with them, whether a loan for someone like Harry Winks would be beneficial. Loan him out next season, because we know Skip's going to be coming into the first team setup. I think that's a good move. Okay, in the short term his market value declines, but if he performs well, sell him on. I think we have to start generating these funds, because the money's not coming in from anywhere else at the moment. So I'm not saying sell Harry Kane, right, or someone like that, but I do think we really have to be taking a good look at the squad as a whole in the summer. It's a big summer. We say it every year. I know it's a bit cliche that fans say it, but this is it, because we need to decide the future of the club right this year, because I don't know what the future is at the moment. The future was, when we got Mourinho in, was win a trophy, then see what happens. And but I'm not really too sure if that doesn't. Who knows if we'll win the final? You know, look at today. But who knows? But I don't know the future after this.
Yeah. All right, Alex. Thanks for coming
Nice
on, mate.
one, Alex.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers,
Good,
mate.
mate.
Cheers.
See ya.
Loves Music says City is a free hit. Let's move on and push for top 4. In Jose we trust.
All right, come
And
on.
Loves Music again with the super chat says Sanchez is an appalling footballer. It's hard
Not
to, I
wrong.
think as an actual footballer, like a guy who plays football, he's not very good.
No, he's not. And he actually did all right in some moments today.
As a
But when
defender, he's okay, but he's not very good at
When you
football.
make mistakes like that on a football pitch, it's like literally he's got ice skates on and he can't stand on his own 2 feet and he's kicking the back of his leg or whatever.
Being
he's doing.
out-muscled by Gundogan isn't a mistake.
But I've said it-
That's a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but not only did he get out-muscled by Gundogan, and then he trips over himself.
He got completely rinsed. I know, but how is he letting Gundogan push him off the ball like that?
I've seen smaller players than Gundogan push him off the ball.
It's ridiculous. He's been at us for 4 years.
How many times can we say the same thing? This guy has all the tools. He's got big physique. He's fast. He's got that stamina. I mean, he should be a top-level Premier League centre-back with the tools he has.
Yeah, but it's coming. The time's been and gone for him to make it now.
I
It's
agree.
just
All right, let's
Sell him.
get Jamie on.
Jamie.
How's it going, mate?
Hey guys, you alright?
Yeah, we're doing
I
okay.
mean, we could have been better, but it's what it is right
I
now.
do feel a lot better after the Leeds calls, to be honest.
Yeah, I do. It's like, this is literally like Tottenham therapy session. That's what it is. So, Jamie, this is your time. Your meter starts now. How do you think the game went?
Yeah, I thought the first 45 minutes it wasn't too bad. I mean, I didn't think it was a penalty. I said it straight away when I saw it, and totally disagreed with everyone who said it was. If that was in City's box, they'll be saying we've got a penalty. You know, I think it's a 50-50, and it's just they both hit each other's knees, and you know, I think penalties are just given too easily now. And also, by that time, I felt we was handling it quite well. You know, because I felt Jose got it right tactically. Because you know, when playing Man City, I think you've got to play those tactics, because otherwise you're just going to get destroyed. I just felt maybe it was better to have 5 at the back, because when you got Ben Davis at left back, you know, asking him to take on Sterling, I just, you know, you just know.
We know.
Yeah, you just know what's going to happen. And also seeing Dyer with Sanchez again, when I saw the starting lineup, I was just like, oh God, this could be a real bad day. But I felt we held our own. I didn't feel City were at their best. And I think they were there for the taking. I think, you know, I felt even at half time, I thought, you never know, we could get something. But the longer the game went on, it's just going forward, yeah, just no ideas, you know. Only Harry Kane, you know, when he dropped into midfield a bit, you could just see the class, you know, the way he can hold up the ball, go around players, pass it to people. And I think you need more players like that. I mean, I said I like Lucas and Lamela. I think they are good players on their day. But yeah, the consistency and, you know, like Lamela, he's quite a neat and tidy player, but you know, half the time he hogs the ball too much. He doesn't know when to release it. And little things like that, I do think cost us. But yeah, and I think the defence is looking a bit ropey now. I mean, if you look at last season, like Toby, there was a point where he couldn't get in the starting lineup, and now he looks like our best defender. And I just feel like, you know, we're going backwards a bit. And
what do you put that down to, us going backwards?
I think it's lacking investment. I think it's riding your luck a bit. You know, I think we've got away with it for a long time now, because, you know, when Poch was in charge, you know, I felt we had the best manager you could ever get, you know, for a Premier League club. And yeah, I think the longer it went on, you know, he gave his opinion and what he felt. I think it was just a matter of time when it was just going to go downhill. And you know, in the past we've had good two centre backs, you know, Yang and Toby. They were solid. And then you had Walker or Trippier, Rose. You know, that was a good back four. And going forward, it even made average players like Winks play well, because when you're playing well, confidence is high. Even people were talking quite highly of him. But now it's just, the longer it goes on, they're not really replacing them with top talent, you know. Like Liverpool, we were far ahead of them, but they sold Coutinho and got Van Dijk and Alisson, you know, and those two changes made a big difference.
Yeah.
So I feel we need a bit of investment.
When was the last time we upgraded a centre back? Toby, in 2015.
Yes, we got Kevin Wimmer after that, didn't we?
That's not an upgrade, is it? The last time we upgraded or signed
Kevin
a
Wimmer
centre-back,
actually looked all right when
he did
Jan
for a
got
bit.
injured.
He did for a bit, but like it's clearly where we're lacking, isn't it? It's just we need to freshen things up, and clearly that was Mourinho's one of his priorities in the summer, and he didn't get that, did he? But why is everyone when we see these defensive errors, why is everyone so ready to blame it on Jose? Do you think?
Well, if I be honest, guys, I never wanted Jose in from the beginning. Even when we was doing well, I was still anti-Jose. But obviously I wanted the team to win.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't feel he was the right manager for us. I felt we let the best guy go. But as time went on, I honestly said at the beginning of the season, I think we'll finish like 8th, you know, because even when we were top of the league, and I just had this feeling like it's going to go wrong. And I know everyone's saying, yeah, if we get a trophy, but you got to look at the bigger picture, you know, like the investment, the squad, and Jose can only do so much as he can. But I do feel in this situation, I do feel a bit sorry for him. Yes, there's times where he's mismanaged or the way he treats some players. I don't think that helps us. I think that's just making matters worse. But I feel like actually we've tried it the Poch way. It didn't work. We've tried it with Jose and we're getting the same results. So, you know, so you do have to start to look at the players. And I actually think tactic-wise, I think obviously every game is different, but I think where we was in December, I think that's the way to go with this squad. Because, you know, going forward, I don't see much happening. And if we have a back five, I think players like Ben Davies play a little bit better, Dyer. And I think if he does that in the whole season, yes, we're going to lose games or concede in the last 10 minutes. But I think it's probably the best way to go with this squad at the moment. I'm not saying forever, but at the moment, I think if he sticks to those tactics, I think he'll probably win more than he'll lose than doing it the other way, where we just attack. And because the defence, they need cover at the moment, and otherwise, you know, we could lose badly at times.
All right, Jamie.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for
Absolutely
coming on,
brilliant.
mate.
Cool. Thank
Okay,
you.
thanks, guys.
Cheers, mate, Jamie.
John, how many we got left?
Two
more to
we
go.
got a
All
super
right.
chat here from Kieran Abbott. Says our defenders are clowns. First it was Eric Dyer dancing on the floor with Timo Werner, and today it was Sanchez being Sanchez.
All right. Anik next. Anik, I know you've been waiting a long time, so
Hi,
I apologise for that. How are you?
No worries. I'm good. What about you guys?
Yeah, we could be better, but I'm telling you, this Tottenham therapy is cheering me up a little bit. But what were your thoughts on the game?
Look, I am not very disappointed with the game. I mean, I have a few points in my mind. The first point being we are losing to a team that beat Liverpool 4-1. First point. If you go back and see their investment in defenders for the last 4 or 5 years, they have spent so much money. And if, as you know, as all Spurs fans know, the quality of the defenders we have. I can say Japhet Tanganga is a better defender than Eric Dyer and Davison Sanchez. You can see it. Ben Davies is a clown. And what I can see, I mean, another problem where I can see is that we are in a C we are getting our head up, then again we get a wave. It's just because of the fixtures are so tough back to back. We are not able to settle ourselves. At least if we could have 2 or 3 good or easy fixtures, rather the team would get a confidence. So that is not happening. Then with the squad, Jose Mourinho is trying everything. He's playing attacking football. He's playing defensive football. Nothing seems to work. And people, those who think we should play attacking football, I mean, with this defense, you can't trust them. If you look back for the past 10, 12 years, the best teams, the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids, the Liverpools, everybody would say they played brilliant attacking football. But if you see, they had the best defenders as well. And if you see our defenders, we are nowhere near. And the
we
other
can't
thing is,
trust them to play defensive football either.
no, exactly. But the best we can do is what he is doing. So I mean, there is not a single solution to the problem, because there are a lot of problems and the board is involved. And if you want to buy a good defender in the market, they are very costly. You cannot afford to buy good defenders. And you have to agree, every Tottenham fan, whenever the opposition is attacking, we are scared that we'll make some mistakes.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho sets up a game plan for every week. Now, if you are a manager, you're setting up a game plan for every week, and every week you concede goals because of individual mistakes. What do? Yeah, we can have contingency plans. Like managers are there to turn around the games or the turn around the ideas. But if it happens every day, then our entire strategy would be based on contingency plans. So it's not the manager's fault. Yeah, he is at fault, of course, but we cannot say Jose out. I mean, we have to give him some chance. It has been hardly a year or so, 1 year, 4 months, something like that.
Exactly.
I mean,
with a massive
should
break
give
in
him
the
a
season
chance
as well.
Yeah. Plus, whoever is saying Jose out, they should know this. If Jose is sacked today, the money he gets from Tottenham, we won't have money to rebuild our squad. And during this COVID time, that's also a very logical point.
Yeah,
so
100%.
We can't say that Jose out. It's not the solution. The solution has to be a collective approach. So that is what I think it is lacking.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree that I think it would be stupid to just get rid of Jose now or anything like that. It would be very, very counterproductive. But I also agree with your point about the defensive mistakes, that it keeps ruining our game plan. But how does Jose combat that from now to the end of the season? Do we just see what we can get, just play it out, or are there different approaches do you think he could be doing better? Is he getting the most out of his squad, do you think?
I mean, at this moment, yes, he is getting the most out of his players. I think we're really lacking a very creative attacking player. Dele should play really well. He should come back. We are missing Lo Celso, but I know when he comes back, he will get injured again. So big players, I mean, I don't like players who gets injured. Top players don't get injured. And the other thing is, one positive side, we now have, I think, a smooth run of fixtures as compared to, we have, I mean, got past all the Chelseas, the Cities, the Liverpools. So I think it is the area where we can strengthen. And now that we're out of the FA Cup, our fixtures will not be that much of a difficulty for us anymore. So we have some time. Now that we have to come back, we have to be collective. We have to have that mentality, forget what is in the past, work hard, try to get best out of it, at least win one trophy. I think we have a better chance of winning the Europa League than the Carabao Cup.
Probably, to be honest,
And
you're
the
probably
Carabao
right there.
Cup, wow,
if today's game's anything to go by, then I think you're probably right there. But I want to ask you this, because do you think it's a flaw from Jose Mourinho recently to not stick with a centre-back pairing and to keep chopping and changing it every game?
Yeah, look, honestly, what everybody can see, Toby Alderweireld starts. I would never start Davinson Sanchez. For me, he is championship quality. I would never start him. But I don't know why he is so much leaning towards. I don't feel that Jose is a biased man, but I don't know what he has with Eric Dyer and Davinson Sanchez. Why? Maybe Davinson Sanchez has the pace, Toby is slow, and you don't have anyone playing on the left centre back. So that could be one of the problems. So, apart from that, I can't think of it. Maybe it's his fault. So, I mean, there are a lot of things you can say, but I mean, I can't vouch for one idea and negate the other idea.
All right,
Anik. So that is important.
All right, Anik, thanks a lot for coming on, mate.
Nice
Very
one,
good
Anik.
points there.
Good to see you, mate.
See you, mate. Bye.
All right. Last call, I think.
What?
Last call.
Was that the last call? Or we
No,
got one
this
more?
is the last one, right?
Oh, one more. All right, let's go to John.
Hi, John.
How you doing, John?
Yeah, I'm doing well, guys.
Last call today, John. What did you have to say about the game today?
It was a tough game as well. I think Man City will be champions, so I don't really mind losing to them. But like, I don't know why he keeps on persisting with Sanchez and Dyer. Like, I see Sanchez like as more of a striker as well. Like, I think he could do a job as a striker. Like, seriously.
Well, he did well against Everton, didn't he? So
Yeah.
But in terms of the current predicament that we're in, what do you put that down to?
I think it's down to the mix. I think it's down to the board and the players. I don't think we can blame Jose because like he's tried every combination as possible combination and it's not working. It's not working. Like, Toby and Rodon should have started today, in my opinion. It's just two centre backs.
Do you think that he needs to identify a centre back pairing for the remainder of the season and stick with them?
Yeah, I think he should do, but I don't think he will because like he hasn't got any players that he wanted, like any centre backs that he wanted. He wanted Diaz and Milenkovic and Skriniar. He didn't get one, so I think he's trying to still find the right balance, but I'm not sure if he can find it.
And if you were the manager, which centre back pairing would you stick with?
Toby, Rodon, Tanganga, regular would be my back four.
Oh, really? You'd start Tanganga right back regularly?
Yeah.
Head of Aurier?
Yeah. Yes. Still, I think Ariel makes mistakes. Too many some mistakes.
Well, Jaffet hasn't played enough to make the mistakes, to be honest.
That's true. But do you think that the people saying that Spurs, played 120 minutes on Wednesday and Man City rested a lot of players and, they were tired, is that just excuses, or do you think that's a valid reason why we weren't as fresh today?
I think it might be both. I think it might be excuses also, and also like a reason that we couldn't play well. But like, one thing, like I think Jose should have gone with the double pivot, like Højbjerg and Sissoko with Ndombele like further forward. I think she should have gone with a 4-2-3-1. So that the defense gets more protection if he's gonna play Sanchez.
I mean, that's how we played when we beat them at home, wasn't it?
It is, but I like the fact, despite the fact that obviously we did lose, I did like the fact he had Ndombele and Højbjerg there because it meant to me that he trusts him there, even in a big game like this. And even in it, I thought for me it showed a bit of ambition to play that in the pivot.
But ultimately, we know the only way to beat Man City is the way we have beaten them in the past 2 games.
Yeah, it's probably the most likely.
It's probably
way.
the best formula to beat Man City. So, yes, I get your point.
We got worse, didn't we, when Sissoko came on?
Yeah, we did. But I get your point about him trusting Ndombele and what have you. And I'm happy with that. He does trust Ndombele as well. But maybe different games needs different players in different systems.
No one knows that better than Jose.
That's true. That's true.
But
he's beaten Man City twice since he's come here.
He did. But I think we have to persist, for me. We have to persist with Højbjerg and Ndombele there because that's the best options we're going to get. I really believe
But we
that.
can't overplay them.
I know. That's a big
the
question. Go on, John.
Yeah.
We are about to end the show, but any closing remarks?
Yeah, to be fair, we need to get Skip back and maybe like loan or sell wings as well, and also like, I mean like Jose can win. Like fans will if he attacks they will say, and if he attacks like if he defends they can win. Jose can win because like they will say criticize it anyway, so that he can win at the moment.
All right,
John. Thanks a lot for coming on, my friend.
Good to see you.
Big up you guys.
Thank you,
John.
See you later.
We got a super chat here from Darpan. He says, which teams are better than Spurs according to you? I think only City, play-wise.
I would say Leicester. I would say
Leicester are better than us.
Who the other team up there? Man United. I would say probably even Liverpool. I would say Chelsea right now. Everton. I could keep going.
You're going to name everyone who's above us, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, there you go.
All right. Well, that is the end of the post-match fan show. Thank you, everyone, for calling in. Thank you, everyone, for watching with us. We are live tomorrow with the morning after show. So come and tune in at 11 o'clock for that one. Thank you all for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
What did you have in this game? Draw.
1-1, yeah.
I had 3-1 Villa.
Oh, that game. I thought you meant Spurs.
No. Oh, I got a point on you in the City game. I said 2-1 City.
I think Joe wins that one.
Yeah, Joe done.
Or me.
Are these the beers that were in the fridge, or did you?
I bought a load more.
You bought more?
Yeah, I bought more.
I went to King and bought this morning.
I just bought another 4. So I think I've done 2.
Why does it say file cannot open because it was not found? Why can't I just...
It's silly.